everyone, welcome back to my— that's a really fun thing to say, like Ritarack. Like, and how do you want me to respond?
Relax with the Dorian of it all. Like,
that reaction would have been warranted. The ruler is always involved. I'm starting to agree with you. I'm getting on the train. Since I have posted on here, I think it's almost been a year. I posted one video and then I moved, got into my school program, started doing that, and it has taken over my life. And so for that reason, like, I have not had any free time to do anything at all, ever. So today is the first day in like a really long time that I have free time. And because I'm starting something that is like really exciting and has a very big fan base and whose reputation precedes it, I figured like this needs to be my YouTube comeback. This needs to be what like puts the motivation back in me. So today we are going to be starting Throne of Glass for the very first time. I have heard of Throne of Glass, obviously, as most people have. I've heard about it for a while now, and I have just never pulled the trigger on reading it. I didn't know if I ever was going to, honestly, because I read ACOTAR a couple years ago, and I'm not really a big ACOTAR girl. Like, as you can see, I stopped at A Court of Wings and Ruin. I was just like, yeah, I just don't think that this book is for me, this series is for me. And so then I was like, well, I just don't know if anything else by the author would be for me. Then my sister, my cousin, and my aunt, they all read Throne of Glass recently, within like a couple of months. They like, no, all of the hype that it has is valid. All of the opinions that people have on it are valid. Like, this series is exactly what it thinks it is. And so I got peer pressured into starting it. So let me explain to you where I am and kind of how this is gonna work. I read via audiobook Assassin's Blade a couple of months ago. I really liked Assassin's Blade. I really liked it. I thought it was so good, but for some reason I just never continued reading the rest of the series. As of a couple days ago, I was like, okay, I think I'm gonna pick Throne of Glass up. So I started Throne of Glass yesterday while I was at work via audiobook. I got 74% of the way through, and I really like it so far, like enough to where I know I'm gonna continue the series. And so that's what we're gonna be finishing Throne of Glass today, because I'm 74% through. So I know that I can finish that today because I literally have all day to just read, which I have not had in a long time, and I'm so excited to just sit here and read all day. And we're going to finish Throne of Glass. I bought it on Kindle, but I also yesterday went and bought the box set of Throne of Glass and them all on my shelf back there. So how I'm gonna do it is I'm going to reread Assassin's Blade, because my sister said, oh, you already messed up, like you took a break while reading them, and so I just think it would be better if you read them all together. So I started Throne of Glass, and it's because I texted her being like, was Throne of Glass really hard for y'all to like keep straight getting into it? Like, I was kind of getting confused with like the characters and like what's a place and what's a person and all of these things. And they were like, no, did you read Assassin's Blade? And I was like, yeah, I did a few months ago. And they're like, oh, well, maybe you should reread it and then start Throne of Glass. And I was like, okay, well, there are so many different reading orders for Throne of Glass, right? Like, you can do Assassin's Blade first, you can do it third. I think there's another way you can do it too. But I figured, okay, I'll just reread Assassin's Blade. So I'm going to reread it after Crown of Midnight. Plan today is to finish Throne of Glass because I'm 74% through, and then start Crown of Midnight, which I'm really excited about. So if you don't know what Throne of Glass is, it is Sarah J. Maas's first series. So it comes before ACOTAR, before Crescent City. And I think it's really making a resurgence, especially, I'm sure we've all heard of ACOTAR 6 and 7 are coming out. So with that, people are saying you need to read Throne of Glass, you need to read Crescent City, but isn't it you have to read Throne of Glass to know Crescent City or something like that? If I'm wrong, sorry, I don't know. I'm not really dove into the world that is Sarah J. Maas, but maybe after reading this series, I will be. This Crescent City has always intrigued me. It's just that because I read ACOTAR first and didn't really like it, I was like, I just assumed that maybe that would go for the rest of her series as well. I'm really liking Throne of Glass, so if I like Throne of Glass, I'll definitely give Crescent City a try, just because of all the books, Crescent City is the one that has interested me the most. Definitely think there's been a resurgence in Throne of Glass just with that announcement being made. Where was I going with that, and what is the point? I don't know why I was talking about that, so we're gonna move on because I don't know where I was going with that. Yeah, I don't know what the point of that was. all of that to say, that's what we're doing today. We're going to read Throne of Glass, and it's going to be our first time reading it. Oh, I was going to say, if you don't know what Throne of Glass is, it is Sarah J Maas's first series, and it follows Celaena in Throne of Glass. Yeah, in Throne of Glass, because I don't know. Okay, also, I feel like I should preference that I don't know anything about this series whatsoever. I didn't even read the synopsis of Throne of Glass, didn't read the synopsis of Assassin's Blade. It's not something that comes up on any of my, it doesn't come up on my book talk, people talking about it, because I don't click on those videos because I just wasn't interested in reading Throne of Glass. It doesn't come up on my TikTok, it doesn't come up on Instagram. Like, I know nothing about this series whatsoever. So that's why I'm saying, like, Throne of Glass at least follows Celaena, and she is an assassin. She's a trained assassin, and she gets taken from the prison that she's in, and she is now working for the prince in this competition. And that's pretty much like the gist, because again, I don't know how sensitive talking about the synopsis of Throne of Glass is. I'm kind of scared to spoil it because I don't know anything about the series. So that is like the gist. We're following Celaena. She's a trained assassin, and she's going to work to be in a competition for the prince to be the king's assassin. The king's champion is what they're calling it. So that's where we're at, you guys. First of all, Celaena is such a pretty name. I think it's a gorgeous name. I love Dorian, and I hope that I don't regret saying that after reading the rest of the books. But personally, in this book, he is who he thinks he is, like Dorian. I don't know, like, something about him I really like him. He's just giving book boyfriend, like, especially fantasy book boyfriend. Like, that is what Dorian gives. He's flirty, and he's like not taking anything too seriously, but he's like interested in her, but he's not supposed to be. Like, I don't know, something about it is just everything that it should be and more. Love that. And then we have another character, Chaol, and he hasn't done anything for me. Like, I just feel like he doesn't really have a personality. Like, he doesn't really share his personality, and I don't know how we're supposed to feel. Again, because I have no prior knowledge, no prior conceptions of this book, because I feel like going into a lot of books, especially a lot of popular books, you know which characters people love, and you know what characters people hate, and people's opinions, and I feel like it can kind of fog your own personal experience reading the book. That is something that I am so shocked I do not have with a series as big as this one, because I do not know anything about it. And so I'm really just going into it with, I didn't read the synopsis of anything. I don't even know the synopsis for Throne of Glass, couldn't tell you. So it's so interesting to be reading a book with no prior conception, because especially a big book, because that is not something that you usually can go into, especially a series that's been around for so long, has such a big fan base, and like I said, just has these books not up here, right? There we go. So I don't know that is as big as this. I think this is going to be fun because you guys are going to get to watch me experience it for the first time with literally no knowledge of it. So there could be, like, again, like I said, like, I don't know how we're supposed to feel about Chaol. I don't know how we're supposed to feel about Dorian. These are just my opinions with literally no knowledge. Chaol does not, like, I don't hate him, but wouldn't say I like him. Like, he just kind of there. I was telling my sister yesterday, she was asking me, like, oh, what are your thoughts? He's just there, I feel. Like, it's just giving paper plate, kind of. It's giving, like, you're not, like, it's not giving anything. You're not giving us anything. You're not giving us personality. You're not giving us tidbits about yourself. Like, we've gotten some, but I wouldn't necessarily say they were interesting. Like, it's not giving that you care, but it's not giving that you don't. Like, I just feel like he's such a contradictory character, I feel. Like, it's just, sometimes he feels this way, but then he feels the opposite, and it's like, babe, pick a side, pick an opinion, give us something. Like, I don't know. Really interested to see his character development, see how that evolves, like, throughout the story, because right now I feel like he is just so contradictory, because it's like, he just doesn't know what's going on. He doesn't know where he's supposed to be or something. So really excited to see where that's at. We're cozy today. Gave me this t-shirt. It's a Throne of Glass t-shirt. Don't know who this is. I don't know. Is this a dragon possibly? And then there's a list of names right here. I don't know, but I thought, like, how fitting would it be for me to wear this little Throne of Glass t-shirt while we read Throne of Glass together, and then we're wearing sweatpants because we're being cozy and we're reading. So that is the plan. I think that's all I need to update y'all on. Just kind of intro this video, give you guys some initial, they're not really initial opinions, but kind of. I want to say that there hasn't been a lot that's happened while being like, things have happened, you know what I mean? Because I am so far in the book, but it is just kind of meeting characters, setting things up. And so it doesn't feel like a lot, right? When does it ever? In like the first fantasy books, it kind of feels like, oh, that wasn't a lot. And then you continue the series and you're like, yeah, here comes the a lot. So I know it's gonna get there. These books right there, they're not that thick for no reason. But as of right now, where I'm at right now, it feels like not a lot has happened, but not in a bad way. Because usually when I say that, it's negative. Because I'm like, why are we this far in the book and literally nothing has happened? But this, I'm not saying that in a negative way. This, it's just, I don't know. There's something about the writing of this book is so nostalgic of middle school me reading fantasy books. It is written in that time period. I need to look at the original publication date for Throne of Glass because I just know, I'm gonna look and see if it's in these books. Yeah, 2012. So it is just giving 2012 fantasy writing, which, can we bring that back? Petition to all fantasy writers to bring back 2012 vibe of writing, because it did what it needed to do. Like, fantasy books I love came from that time period because they knew what they were doing. That's another reason why I really liking this book is because it did, like, it is written from that time period. And so in a way it feels nostalgic, even though it's not something that I personally, like, I didn't read this when it came out, right? Like, this is my first time reading it, but it feels nostalgic of books that I love that were written in that time period. That's really fun for me. We're gonna get back into it. I'm on chapter 39 right now. I'll come back once I have a little bit more thoughts, because we're nearing the end, like, the other shoe's about to drop, right? Like, kind of has to, because that's literally all we have. So I feel like there will probably be a time where I'm gonna have to come on here before it ends to be like, right? In the book right now, that's where we're at. That is See, I knew I would need to come back before I finish the book. So I'm on chapter 42. I decided this is gonna be spoilers. So I'm on chapter 42, and pretty much like she's went down into that tunnel and to discover, like, is it Nehemia who's summoning the Ritterak, which, that's a really fun thing to say, like, Ritterak. Is it Nehemia summoning the Ritterak, or is it somebody else? So she went down there and it's Cain. Then I remembered that she had said he was getting stronger as the competitions went on. Like, every time she saw him, he was bigger and bigger. She saw him running randomly, like, in the dark, and she had warned everyone, like, stay in tonight. And then now I'm on chapter 42, and they're like, Cain, the person who had been stronger and better as the competition went on. Like, is this trying to confuse me? Like, is it really Cain, or is it something else? Or is it Cain and multiple people? Because isn't Cain with Lord Parrington? But it's weird because we were just talking to Lord Parrington when he was talking to Kaltain, and he wants Kaltain to kill Celaena because Cain says that he can kill Celaena in the duel, but he's like not sure. Lord Parrington isn't, like, he doesn't want to risk it. But I'm like, so if Cain was working with Lord Parrington, then wouldn't he like know what Cain was doing? But then what if Cain's working for Nehemia? Or what if it's just, I don't know, something else entirely? I think I should preface by saying I'm not a guesser in books. Like, I really just read the books with vibes. And if I know what's going to happen, like, great, I knew, like, I guessed that, but I'm never really like reading the book trying to figure out what's gonna happen. But as I was like sitting here telling you guys like what part I'm at, and the gasp that I gasped, because I get that Cain was like a character we kept talking about, but I just didn't think he was important to the story really. Like, I was like, okay, she's just gonna have to duel him, but it never crossed my mind that maybe he would come back and have like a bigger part to the story. And maybe that's like my bad, and I should have thought of that, but I don't know. That's the part I'm at. I'm gonna keep listening. I wasn't expecting Cain to like come up at all. Honestly, like, he wasn't a character I even thought about. Okay, so I turned the camera off too soon. So Cain like saw her or whatever for somehow, and he goes, "It wasn't supposed to be you tonight." Right. So thank you for that. But he was like, "But this is just such a great opportunity." Right. And Cain, what would you like me to say about that? What is on my face that's bothering me? Cain, like, and how do you want me to respond? Like, do you want me to say, like, thank you for not thinking of me tonight? Or, like, which is, like, one of my favorite things about reading books or watching movies or whatever is like when the villain is like, he says something like that and it's like, thank you or something. Like, yeah, it's just like, Cain, babe, what did you want her to say? Oh, it's my dog. Lilo. Lilo. There she is. Hi, Pimples. But yeah, that's where I'm at. And the Ritterag, I'm picturing him as that thing from Wednesday. That one guy turned into, like the big eyes. I can't remember what it's called. That's how I'm picturing him. Oh, and also I don't picture things when I read. I cannot see, like, you know how some people don't see anything when they read? That's me. I'm that person. So when I say I'm picturing that, just mean like I thought when you described that to me, I could think of that. Everything else, like, I don't know what these people look like. I don't know what their world looks like. Like, I do not know anything because I cannot picture anything. Like, there's no movie going on. It's just vibes, strictly vibes. So in case you were like, oh, how are you picturing the character? I'm not. And I wasn't. I'm in the car now because I went to get a little fun drink. But as I had previously shared my opinions on Kale, he then decides to allow me to have an opinion of him. So I'm gonna share it. Kale, relax with the Dorian of it all. Like, that's annoying me. That's bothering me so bad. Like, so she danced with him. So Lord Parrington said Dorian loves her. Like, you're bothering me. Like, that's bothering me. Like, I'm reading it, I'm sitting here and I'm listening to it on my drive, and you know what you're getting into yourself with Dorian? Did you enjoy dancing with Dorian? It's like, yeah, Kale, I did. So leave me alone. Like, you're bothering me, Kale. You're bothering me. So I'm sitting here reading and I'm a little bit confused as to why Kale feels bad for killing Cain. I don't know if it's like, just has Kale just never done that? But then he's like the king's guard, so, or captain of the guard or whatever. So like that makes me think that, wouldn't that be part of his job? But then he's sitting here like, oh my gosh, I shouldn't have done that. Why did I do that? Like all these things. Or is he just going to be punished for that? Like, I don't, maybe they'll explain it further. But I just don't understand why that would be his reaction, because Cain was going to kill her. She fairly won. And if it had been vice versa, if someone had went after Cain after he won, like I feel that reaction would have been warranted. So I wonder if it's just because it was Selena who he was protecting. And that makes, like, is that going to make him look like a traitor? I'm really interested in that. That part was a little confusing to me. I finished it. I finished Throne of Glass yesterday and I started Crown of Midnight yesterday, but I haven't updated you guys on what I thought of the book, what I rated the book, and everything like that. So final thoughts on Throne of Glass, I gave it 4 stars. This is a really good book. This is a really good first fantasy, like first in a series book. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed the characters that we met. I really enjoyed the plot. You guys, at the end of this book, also, my washing machine is on, I'm just realizing. So it's probably really loud. Please hold. I'm not redoing that, so hopefully it's bearable at least now. But when I finished Throne of Glass yesterday, I felt like I should have seen it coming, yet I didn't. And I think it's because there was kind of like a lot going on, kind of. And so things that I thought were like little were actually really big plot points. Like the king being involved. Like, why did I not assume he would be involved? The king, the ruler, is always involved. The ruler is always involved. And for some reason, it didn't cross my mind one time while I was reading this book that, hey, maybe the king is working with Cain. Kaltain's headaches, didn't think anything of it. Personally, I mean, we don't know her, so what if she's just like a headache girly? The headaches that she was experiencing, not because she's a headache girly, not the king and Lord Parrington doing whatever they're doing with, we don't know yet if it's with the word marks, but I'm assuming that it is, and with the little rings that they have on their fingers, causing her to get these headaches. And they're doing the same thing to her that they did to Cain, but they don't want the same effects that Cain experienced for Kaltain to experience. Was really interesting. Lord Parrington just turning on her randomly, that was an interesting plot for me personally. Again, I wasn't invested in Kaltain's story. Honestly, I didn't even think of her, like every time we got into her POV, I was like, oh, okay. But but it's not like it registered to me that, hey, maybe they're telling her story for a reason. It didn't register with me that way. But him turning on her and saying like that she poisoned Celaena, like all these things, that he knew nothing about it, that was a play. That was a play. I remember I had earlier spoken about how Chaol was like having this guilt for killing Cain. So it's because he had never killed anyone. I didn't know, and obviously they went on to explain that. But I was just really confused, honestly, by that point, because being the captain of the guard, I just assumed that would come with the territory, but that was his first kill. Yeah, I really, really liked this book. You guys, I should have listened when y'all told me to read this series. Like, how am I one book in? I barely know anything, and I'm already, like, obsessed. And if the rest of the books make me feel the way Throne of Glass felt, like, I know that this series is going to be life-changing, and I will apologize to everyone who I ever told was like, it cannot be that good. You're making it up. You're not. As of right now, I'm starting to agree with you. I'm getting on the train. So yeah, 4 stars for Throne of Glass. Now we're moving into Crown of Midnight. Let's see what we're getting ourselves into.